Hey guys, it's me, Stanley, again. It's been some time now. You might say I was away, but I was actually preparing some videos. I think I prepared 2 videos, and then I realized I didn't really like them, so I don't know if I'll be posting them. I need some time to think about it and if it's even worth editing them, but we'll see. So that means that I was not away, I was just being disorganized and stupid. Also, I'm kind of busy because I'm doing a freelance job for this girl, and that's been happening. So, since today I have the worst headache in existence, I'll keep this video kind of short, and I'll be explaining my process in making characters and like how I fit them into a story, a narrative, how I weave their fates. So first of all, this isn't going to be really a standard type of viewing of character creation. The way I do it is I draw out a design which I loosely base from an image in my head, and I just draw it, I make it more vivid. It doesn't exactly match the image in my head because I kind of perfected in a way while drawing it. So I start out with the design is what I'm saying. So like 2 things I have, a design of the character and a role that the character plays. So first of all, of course, I make the main character and I think about what kind of story it is. For instance, when I made the story for Superhuman, I had 2 superhero boys in mind. So I designed that, and later I decided to give them their powers. I really liked the idea that one of them was like brute force, super strength, and like could hit stuff, while the other uses telekinesis, again brutally, but it's like a completely opposite power. It's a mental thing, while the other is a physical thing. So like, yeah, physical and mental. That's what I had in mind with those 2 characters. That's why they're also the way they are. I envisioned them to be very flawed, even in their own powers or like their own element. So Spitfire is kind of kooky and not very right in the head. So his mental state isn't like the ideal one. So he's already failing at his element. And on the other hand, the Reaper is very insecure and unsure of himself. So the whole strong front he has doesn't really happen in him. He is weak. He's a weak person. Now I'm just roasting my characters. But like all of these little details kind of happened as I was making their story, and their kind of themes, they just wove themselves into each other, and that's what happened. So if we can put that in a system, I guess the way to do it is to start out with a word for each character. Like in my case, we have physical and mental, and from these 2 words I basically kind of create their characters and their powers. The way I made the villains, however, is kind of a little bit different. I actually took inspiration from the villains in Batman comics. So that's a thing. Like, if you don't know how to create a villain, try and read a Batman comic or watch Batman the Animated Series. They have great villains and you can get a lot of ideas from that. It's not stealing if you're just inspired. Don't steal characters. But yeah, I was inspired by the villains that there are in the Batman universe. Taking inspiration from other stuff is important. I recommend it because at the end of the day, inspiration is what fuels ideas. So yeah, you can use the one word rule I just made for the villains as well. You can use a word, one word for a villain and start building on top of that word. But don't use an ambiguous word such as evil unless you can actually create a personality that's based on the concept of evil. But then I feel like it gets a little bit mystical. A better word would be sociopathy, and again, you need to kind of research the words to kind of get stuff. Then again, I would stray away from using mental illnesses to define a character. The word sociopathy already has negative connotations. It's still kind of better than evil. You can make a deranged person rather than an evil for the sake of evil person. Because evil is such an abstract concept that it's difficult to build on top of that. You can use the word malicious, I guess, but again, it's a villain. It's not really a broad definition. A good word you can use for a villain is charm. A villain can be charming, and that can be the basis of their personality and the way they interact with people. Maybe they're very deceptive. Maybe they use their charm to get away from things instead of using brute force. And that kind of gives a villain a less traditional and a more nuanced personality. Of course, things such as villains and heroes aren't the standard for a story or a webcomic. The correct terms would be protagonist and antagonist. In which case, an antagonist can also be a non-person. It can be a force or an event or something else. The Fire Nation, maybe. So that's basically the quick tip for making a character. Just write a word and build on top of that. You can make that word the basis of the person, and it can be any word. It can be your favorite word, it can be your most hated word. If you're trying to make a compelling antagonist, make them hated. Give them a word that you really hate, but don't give them a slur or something horrid. Just give them a word you don't really like. And for a protagonist, give them a word that you like. And you can also make flaws based around that word. You can give them, for instance, the word kind. It's a broad word, but it works. And the character can be very kind to people, but their flaws can be that they can be too trusting and naive. So that works. Character design. I'm not the best at character designs because I like to keep my characters looking realistic and make differences more in their faces and their facial features, their body types, and so on. If I give them a crazy colored hair, I would always think about why their hair is that color, if they colored it themselves, and if they did, how would that look like? So I would look at references about dyed hair. So that's why my main characters have brown hair. Because they're regular people. I'm basically straying away from the anime type of characterization, though it is much more compelling. It doesn't really appeal to the world I'm building, and like I do have characters who have naturally weird colored hair, but that's because they're magical and magic happens to their hair. So that's why it's a different color. I'm weird like that, and I kind of think about these things and how it fits into reality, despite the fact that I'm making a comic about superpowers. I wouldn't want to have that type of plot hole in my story. Like, how does he have blue hair? That's impossible. So yeah, a lot of characters are like brown haired, blonde, ginger sometimes, and then I would make different skin colors and races, and I would give them different features. And basically that's how I design characters, but like, by all means don't do as I do. You can give them all of the crazy hair and all of that good stuff, and you don't need to give them features that are so distinct and detailed that they kind of get separated from the designs get separated from each other and look different facially. You can do a same face if you're like doing anime type of drawing or a manga comic. They usually draw basically the same face with slight variations, like different stylizations for the eyes, and that's basically it. And maybe the eyebrows. And I'm not throwing shade. I honestly think that type of stylization works, and it looks good, and it distinguishes characters. I do feel like it doesn't matter if characters have the same face if you can distinguish them from one another by, at the very least, one distinguishable trait, like the hair color and the hairstyle, like in most anime, and like the clothing choices, the body types. What I'm saying is I don't think same face syndrome is that bad of a thing. You can make it work for you if you like drawing the same face. It's not a sin. You can make it work and don't worry about it. Personally, I just prefer drawing different faces because I enjoy drawing different faces and challenging myself to do them. Some people might find that tedious, and that's okay. We're all different. But yeah, just make sure that whatever the character design is, you can put it in an advertisement and it'll attract people and an audience. My personal advice is whichever route you take your character design, you just gotta make it feel interesting and unique and kind of make the character compel people to wanna see their story. So yeah, that's my very, very broad and vague advice to you, quick, simple tips and tricks for you to maybe apply to making a character. I'm disorganized, but I hope what I'm saying helps people. I know that I'm saying really, really basic stuff, but sometimes people forget the basics and they just blah. Also, I'm sorry for the lack of structure, but I'm not a structured type of guy. Basically, ideas come to me in very different ways, very random ways, so it's difficult for me to put them into an exact system. And the way I do things basically comes to me. And I guess that's also a good advice for some people. If you feel compelled towards an idea and it just seems natural to you and you like it, and you don't know why you like it, then by all means do it. Like, do what makes you happy in art and in your storytelling endeavors. You may fail the first time, but who cares? You can try again. As long as you don't lose heart. Like, if you really feel passionate about this, then try and try again and have patience, and you'll get it. You'll eventually get it. It takes work. Okay, enough from me today. I'll see you guys in the next video, and I hope you like seeing me horribly rig this character on Toon Boom Harmony. This is a little girl who is going to be taunting her older brother, if I ever make that animated video, but we'll see. Follow my social media, Redbubble accounts, shop at my Redbubble shop and my Society 6 shop. DeviantArt, I'm still doing commissions, guys. I still am. Go to my DeviantArt if you want a commission from me and see what's the T sister. Like, who knows, maybe I can design a character for you. But like, if you can do that, you can do that. Also, what else do I have? Because I forgot about all my social media. Oh yeah, I have a Ko-fi account. Also, please, oh please, read my comic on Tapas. I have 200 and something subscribers already there. And I'm really happy because I haven't been posting recently. I've been slow on making the comic pages and buffering. The new coloring art style is destroying my life, but I really like how the pages look. So subscribe to my comic and you will eventually see some pages popping up in there. Woohoo! I also have an idea for a film, for another film, and I'll be showing you the concept poster I made for it right now. I hope you like it. And I'm also planning out a spin-off game on RPG Maker MV for Superhuman, like a spin-off of Superhuman. So that's gonna be fun. If I die, I don't regret anything. Okay, I think this is the video. Thank you for watching. Bye.